Whoa, okay, hold on.
Gotta go ahead and stop that song before we get copyrighted and demonetized over here because I don't make enough money yet for that to happen. But anyways, as a very wise man once said, the Miami Heat played basketball tonight, baby. Yes, that's right. Shout out Heat vs. Haters on Twitter as the Miami Heat start yet another season where they are severely doubted and bet against by literally everybody. And if you hear my roommate yelling from the other room, it's either because he bet the under on Austin Reeves, who sucks, or because he's playing the new Spider-Man and can't beat Sandman or something. I don't know. But anyways, once again, another season where the Miami Heat are not looked to do anything. That being said, I do have a bold prediction video. We're going to go through 5 bold takes here where each one gets increasingly more surprising, I guess you could say. Starting with the first one in which I said, Kyle Lowry will not end the season on this roster. Now, a lot of people may argue whether that's bold or not, but I did come across this interesting tweet from Drew Smith. We don't like Drew Smith over here, and I'm sorry to mix you, Drew Starr and Drew Smith. From Drew Starr, who pointed out that the last time the Heat made a trade where they actually acquired a player was in 2021, over 2 years ago. That was the Kyle Lowry trade when they sent out Goran Dragic and Precious Achiuwa. All the other trades, they just got back like money or salary cap relief. Like that was like the Dwayne Dedmon trade. They had to attach a pick. The KZ Okpala trade in which they had to attach a pick. So you can see there was a lot of bad asset management that's happened the last few seasons. But that being said, I think it would be a terrible mistake to keep Kyle Lowry on this roster and let that contract expire when I do think you can get some value for his money. I mean, he's making at least $20 million this year, probably closer to $30 million. You can use that along with a first-round pick or 2 first-round picks to get some nice pieces. We had a Kyle Lowry video out a couple days ago where we went through a lot of different trade packages, so go check that out if you want more detail. But some of the deals can include like a Bojan Bogdanovic, a Gordon Hayward, DeMar DeRozan, even some of the Brooklyn guys, whether it's Finney Smith or Dinwiddie. There is deals out there that I think can help put assets around Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler, your main core here, if your goal is to actually win a championship this year, because I don't think they can just let Kyle Lowry's contract expire for nothing. We see those deals bring back people, just like Russell Westbrook last year. The Lakers sent him and a first-round pick, and they got back D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, and Malik Beasley. 3 very, very nice rotational players. And if you're the Heat saying that you want to win a championship, if you actually mean it, I think you got to use Lowry's deal with some of those first and get some pieces that can help right now. Now, that's not to say you got to take on additional money for extra years, because there's also other pieces out there that are expiring contracts. So I say he won't be on this roster and they get someone to help. At least I really, really hope that's the case. The second bold take I have is something that I said is bold because I know I'm more so in the minority on this, but I think Highsmith is ass. And I think he's going to have no role, no impact this season. And he's not going to be as good as everyone thinks he is now. I've been talking about him for a while. I said I want to get a Highsmith specific video out. Maybe I will at some point. It just didn't feel right now because he will miss opening night and a couple weeks due to an injury. But people are very high on him, right? Anytime I talk down on Highsmith, people always say, oh, but he's exactly what the Heat need. He's 3-and-D. He's a switchy defender. In theory, that's what people say he's supposed to be, but he's only 6'4". He's not very big. Has a giant wingspan, but I mean he's literally listed as 6'4", 6'5" on some websites, which absolutely shocked me because all I hear are these people talking about his great length and size, right? I was thinking about pausing that, but we don't pause over here, man. Highsmith, I don't think he's very good. Never in my life have I heard an announcer say the phrase more great defense, better offense than when Highsmith is guarding someone. Because yeah, he may be right on top of them, but I don't feel like he's ever stopping anybody. And yes, he's shown an ability to shoot the 3 ball. He especially does have that corner 3, which is great in this Heat offense, but I feel like he is so god-awful at everything else. If the ball is in his hands for more than a second, it's a turnover. I feel like he's going to be missing layups left and right. I'm not a fan of Highsmith. I'm praying he proves me wrong. That's why it sucks that he will miss some time, at least initially, with Josh Richardson, which is sad as well. They were both confirmed to miss opening night tonight. I'm just not very big on Highsmith. The third hot take that I have is that the Miami Heat will not only win against the Boston Celtics in the second game of the year, but they will also win against the Milwaukee Bucks 2 games later in a game that will be a blowout. Yes, we have a very exciting start to the season now. they were disrespected not being played on opening night. We talked about that in yesterday's video. The two teams that make the finals should get the respect of playing on opening night. I digress. The Heat open up at home versus the Detroit Pistons tonight. But then 2 days later, they play the Boston Celtics on Friday. And then they play at Minnesota and at Milwaukee. The part of the reason I think they're going to beat Boston and Milwaukee is just because I know they're going to lose to Minnesota in Minnesota. If you've been a Heat fan for any number of years now, you know that's a game they always seem to lose. Even back when they had box fade Andrew Wiggins, who was lighting us up with like 4 threes in the fourth quarter. So if they are going to hopefully win tonight versus Detroit and win in Minnesota, I do think they're going to get those other 2 wins. And I think they're going to come out there and from the jump make a statement game and show that not only can we compete with these teams, but we are better than these teams. Because I think the Heat honestly believe that. I know Jimmy Butler believes that. And you know they're going to want to make a statement, especially after how tough last season ended. And it's exciting that right from the jump, we get 2 of the biggest rivals in the first week of basketball. So I'm really excited about it. And I say the Heat win them both. My 4th hot take is the hottest one yet. It's that Tyler Herro will make the All-Star game this season. Now, this is something I said last season. I was wrong. But I love his mentality. I mean, he has the exact mindset of a kid who's been in all these trade rumors. He is exactly the way you want him to feel. He has the complete chip on his shoulder attitude, and he has the mentality to prove everyone wrong. But does he have the skill to actually do that? I think so. I mean, Tyler Herro is a 3-level scorer. The definition of it, there's not many of those left in the game today. Most guys are either at the rim or at the 3-point line. Tyler Herro is very good at both of those and the mid-range as well. I think he's going to be able to use that this season, in addition to just a very long offseason. Obviously, he didn't play in the playoffs. He was recovering from the freak wrist incident. But I think he's going to use all that, use the chip on his shoulder, and take a monster jump this season, especially since Jimmy Butler's another year older. You know, he tends to take a lackadaisical approach in the regular season, and I think Tyler Herro was on a mission to prove everyone wrong. I think for him to make the All-Star team, the Heat would need to be top 3, top 4 in the East. I don't necessarily have them finishing there. I think my official prediction had them at 4. But at the time of the All-Star voting, they're going to need to be there. And if they are, I do think Tyler Herro makes the All-Star team. And Pat Riley said this team needs someone who can average 25 points a night. He said whether it's Jimmy or Jimmy, we know in the regular season might not. But he said whether it's Bam, whether it's Tyler, I think it'll be Tyler Herro this year. If not 25 points a night, I think he'll average close to that. And he will make the All-Star team. My 5th bold take of this video is that the Miami Heat are going to win the MFN championship, baby. Now, I hope people think that's a hot take, I guess, because that's the point of this video is bold takes. People may not think it is because they just made the finals last year. But obviously, if you ask 99% of people, nobody's going to pick the Heat. Shout out to the Believe Network. You know, we also do the Believe in Miami Heat podcast over here. They asked all the NBA hosts to make their NBA Finals predictions. Nobody had the Heat in there except for me. Now, we also did the same thing last year on the Believe Network. And guess who I picked going to the finals? The Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets got it exactly right. Now, I did pick the Heat to win, but I made the same exact prediction this year. I'm going to say the Heat make it back to the finals, run it back versus the Denver Nuggets, and do win the NBA championship. You can make the argument that this Heat team got a lot worse, but I'm going to make the argument that they got a lot better. You lost Gabe Vincent, you lost Max Strus, guys who weren't very good in the finals, but you did replace them in a guy like Josh Richardson, who I think is better than Gabe Vincent. And you got Thomas Bryant, which is a substantial upgrade over the Cody Zellers or the Dwayne Dedmons of the world. And I'm banking on a bounce-back season from Duncan Robinson. I'm banking on an in-season trade to kind of get some help. And I'm banking on Nikola Jovic to kind of do what we saw in the FIBA. And for Jaime Hopkins at 22 years old to make an immediate impact. Now, that's a lot of assumptions, but that's why it's a bold take. And if all of those do become true, which I do think they're plausible at the least, I don't even know what plausible means. They just used to say that on Mythbusters back in the day. But if it is plausible, well, I think it is, then if that happens, the Heat certainly are better than last year. And if they made the finals, you add Tyler Herro, you add all the other things I talk about, I do think they have a shot to win the NBA championship. And that is my 5th bold take of this video. But that's all I really got for this video as far as the predictions. Let me know what y'all think down below. I did want to mention, I found some pretty good bets on the anonymous player prop betting app that does not sponsor me, so I will not say their name. They had a free square, Steph Curry over half a point, and I'm pairing it with Tyler Herro over 20.5 and Bam Adebayo over 18.5 points. I think both those guys are going to come out from game one with something to prove, especially against a lighter opponent in the Detroit Pistons. If I'm y'all, I would smash those overs. I'm not super confident, like I guarantee sometimes, but that's what I'm playing with. So let me know if y'all want to go ahead and play that as well. But that's all I got. I want to shout out some people who on my last video stayed to the very end and answered the question that I asked, which was, if you could change Drew Smith's hairstyle, what would you change it to? So I'm gonna go ahead and put these comments up right now, but I want to shout out my guys, The Chosen 1617, Woo 777, and my guy Dan the Film Gen. Consistency is key. Another big fan over at the Basement Sports Network, and if y'all want to check out that network also, we do live streams after every single game on YouTube reacting. So go check out the Basement Sports Network. That'll be linked down below. But that's officially all I got for this video. And I guess I should do another shout out, right? I keep saying this. And if you stayed 11 minutes into the video and you're still watching it, go ahead and comment down below. I never think of these in advance. Go ahead and comment down below your score prediction for the Heat game tonight versus the Detroit Pistons, and I'll pick someone who's closest maybe and shout out the next video. How about that? I'm gonna cut it off here. Peace out, y'all. Let's go Heat.
Look, pull up in your city tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.